morning, everyone. After learning about the difference between the public and the private sector, now in this module we are going to focus on the forms of public sector enterprises. Forms of private sector enterprises we have already learnt in the previous chapter. We learnt that there are 5 forms of private sector enterprises: sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family business, partnership, cooperative society, and joint stock company. So now let us focus on the forms of public sector enterprises. In this module, we learn about the departmental undertaking, its features, merits and limitations. So let's first learn about what is a departmental undertaking and what are its features through a small animation. Please keep the volume of your devices down for better understanding.
Departmental undertaking. We have already studied that one form of public sector enterprise is the departmental undertaking. What are departmental undertakings? The departmental undertaking is the oldest form of public enterprise. It is established as department under the respective ministry. These enterprises are managed by government officials under the supervision of the departmental head. For instance, the Department of Post is headed by Shri Kapil Sibal, who is the Minister of Communications and Information Technology. The primary features of departmental undertakings are: a departmental undertaking does not have a separate entity, but is a part of the government itself. They are directly controlled by the government. Departmental undertaking is financed by the government treasury, and its revenues are paid into the treasury. Its employees are government servants who are recruited and appointed as per the rules followed for recruitment of civil servants. Since departmental undertaking is a department of the concerned ministry, it falls under the direct control of that ministry. The audit controls applicable to a government department are applicable to the departmental undertakings as well.
So I hope that you are clear with what is a departmental undertaking. Now let's see what are the positive points, what are the merits of departmental undertaking. It has a centralized control which facilitates effective control over all the operations, over all the working of the undertaking. Strict accounting and audit control helps in effective utilization of money. So as we are clear that it is controlled by a specific ministry which is created by the central government, so everything is in strict control of the government in accordance with the strict audit controls. The revenue or the money income deposited into the treasury is the source of income for the government. It is suitable for government activities concerned with national security. For example, Railway Ministry, Education Ministry, Post and Telegraph Ministry, and so on. Now let's see what are the negative points, what are the limitations. Too much centralization on the part of central government results in loss of flexibility, because each employee, each person has to take the decision as per the rules, regulations which are already framed, so it lacks flexibility. Approval of concerned ministry is often required, leading to delay in decision. So as I told you, because this is very strict, all the rules, regulations are already framed, and even if any decision has to be taken, then approval of concerned ministry and its head has to be taken. So it may lead to delay in decision making. It unable to take the advantage of business opportunity, as the bureaucrats are overcautious in taking risky ventures. So employees are not taking any decisions on their own. When there are risky ventures, they shirk the opportunity to grab the opportunity, because that may be risky, that may lead to loss. So employees, they do not take their decisions on their own. working gets affected by the political interference many a times, and decisions get delayed due to administrative formalities and excessive paperwork. So this is one form of public sector enterprise, that is a departmental undertaking. Then we have second form, that is statutory and statutory corporation, that we will study in the other module, and then government company, that also. So this is one part, one form of public sector enterprise. Thank you.